This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
Good day and welcome. On behalf of Providence Television International Management and staff, I am wishing you a wonderful New Year 2025. You are welcome to the newspaper analysis on Providence Television International. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. You're welcome and a Happy New Year, sir.
Yes, Happy New Year to you and the other staff, but I think more importantly, we must give thanks to all our viewers at home and abroad who stayed with us. We are 5 months old in the business, but it seems to me that we're over a year already. According to some of them, it's like we have even spent 2 years on the road. But it's only 5 months. We started in August in earnest, and it's only January. So, but we want to thank them, quite frankly. We want to thank them very, very sincerely. Those of them who tuned in to us at home here in Nigeria, in Africa, in Europe, in North America, the US and Canada, and even as far out as Australia. We had viewers. So it's been a wonderful year. But yes, it was a difficult year for most people, particularly for Nigerians. I hope that the indices will be better this time around, particularly for economic advancement of this country. So we are hoping for the better side of 2024.
25.
No, the better side.
The better side of 2000, exactly, the better side of 2000. Well, 2025, we also, from the religious point of view, we give thanks, all thanks and praise to God. Not so many people actually saw this year, so many aspirations and hopes. Well, it is not just, somebody actually pointed out that it's not just thanking God and hoping that we need to put some things in place, as in work, and not just sit and pray. As regards those who go to church, God, please do it for me without working.
You have to work. I mean, obviously you have to work. And God says he will bless the works of our hands. So I don't know when it used to happen, where they said the manna used to come from heaven or to fall from heaven. That has stopped, okay, for obvious reasons. But I think that people must work and work hard. But not just people. I think government should also work hard.
Okay.
Extra hard this year to ensure that those essentials that the people need are in place. For instance, security and welfare, what the Constitution talks about very copiously. Security and welfare of the people.
Okay.
Government must do things to ameliorate the situation. It was very bad, pretty bad in 2024. I mean, people scampering for food and things like that. Maybe tokenism. But we shouldn't be talking about tokenism in 2025, this year. We should be talking about abundance, okay? Because this is a land flowing with milk and honey. You know, there should be less of sleaze on the part of the political class, you know. Let them steal less. Yes, let them steal less. Let them do more for the people rather than for their pockets. Because that's what the experience was during the year just gone by. Now, 2025 should be a pleasant year for everybody. It's not a leap year, so we thank God for that. Okay, so, but the economists are saying that the indices, as far as they are concerned, are not particularly bright. But we are hopeful. I mean, the question of faithfulness. Exactly. We are hopeful that things will get better. All right.
And so we'll move straight to the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, where we have Manhole, Thieves, Wike vows to apprehend Vandals, buyers. This has now become a national problem.
It's a national malaise. It's happening all over the place. And it's these people, they call them aboki or whatever it is. That's what they do. And it's in the still of the night, for instance. I mean, they can't do that in daytime. Very close to us here in this axis, there are about 3 or 4 or 5 manholes that have been stolen. Yeah, that's the picture over there, very close to our office, to the broadcasting house. And this is on Arosa Street. Okay? You can see the way vehicles are trying to maneuver. This manhole has destroyed a lot of tires. Because once you bump into it, this tire is gone. And it's deep. So when rain falls, that's the danger in it really. When rain falls, it's covered. And little kids can easily fall into these things. So the vigilante people should be up and doing. Security people should also try and fish out the perpetrators. Surprisingly, these things are still works.
Yes.
They are very heavy. How they do it, I don't know. They are very heavy. Okay? And it is that manhole that we just saw. Please, Jane, show that picture again. It is very deep, close to 10 meters or more.
Exactly.
Down into the drains. Yes, very deep. I mean, I was brought up in this area, and this thing has been there. In fact, it was set up during the Ogbemudia administration in those days. It's still there, so water cannot really get there. But sometimes it's blocked, so you have water on top. That's the danger I've just talked about.
Exactly.
And people can fall inside without knowing. And once you fall inside, that's the end. That's the end of the story. And they are dotted all over the place, all over.
Yes.
In Benin alone, there are more than 15.
Exactly.
Yes. Manhole covers that have been stolen or carted away. I understand that these things are very expensive. I mean, for people who buy iron rods, steel works and things like that, they are very expensive. But how they lift them, it remains a mystery, because they are very heavy, very, very heavy.
Quite true.
Right.
Well,
and I'm happy that one of the papers is talking about it already.
Exactly.
In Abuja.
Abuja, yes.
Yes, manholes stolen in Abuja. Yes, and that's terrible. That's it there. Okay? So it's a pity that these things have to be happening at this point in time. And rainy season will soon come in on us, right? Yes. By March, April, we're in rainy season. All right, so we need to do something to preempt some of these actions.
Preempt them. And then, like the story on the Nigerian News Direct, that story, bias involved. It should not just be the...
Yes, I know. It takes two to tango.
Exactly.
So you have those who steal them and those who buy them. So the two sets of people must be brought to justice, all right? Because if you don't have ready buyers, then there won't be sellers.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
that's
so,
the problem.
Well, we'll move to the front page of the Punch newspapers, where we have new virus. Federal government tightens monitoring to quarantine China passengers. Experts demand proactive steps as new virus surges in China ravages children. We'll tie this story to the Daily Trust newspapers, where we have new virus hits China. Over 5,000 hospitalized in the UK.
We had COVID the other day. And this is another one. Again from China. Why it must always come from China is the thing I don't understand. All right? And I think that the WHO must play a more proactive role in this regard. The World Health Organization. It shouldn't be a localized problem. That's how COVID started. And suddenly it became a pandemic all over the world. And a lot of lives were lost. This is happening again. And I think that governments all over the world must be on their toes. Okay, prevention, they say, is better than cure.
Yes.
Right. So if there are antidotes, yes, why not? We can use them. But I think that there must be a lot of enlightenment programs and campaigns to make sure that the people do the right thing to prevent a reoccurrence of what we had during COVID-19. Exactly. We do not want countries to be shut down again. Economies shut down, nations shut down because of one pandemic. And I understand that this thing is just as dangerous as COVID. Right. So, but I hope the WHO will do something quickly and urgently.
Are you in support of Chinese passengers, the quarantine of Chinese passengers? Are you in support of that?
Of course, yes, because, I mean, the virus is coming from China. All right. It happened during COVID-19, you remember. All right. But it is a very dicey situation. Dicey in the sense that, I mean, for countries that have good relations with China, they have to handle it with care. All right. And that means that we shouldn't apply the big stick. Okay. Our health management officials should do it in such a way as not to rock the boat between Nigeria and China. Yes. And in any case, a pandemic can rise from anywhere. Yes, it can occur from anywhere in the world. I mean, look at, all kinds of ailments we've been having here. Some originated from Nigeria, by the way, even though they didn't assume the status of pandemics. But Lassa fever, for instance, started in Ekboma here. So, but we really need to handle such things with care. Otherwise, we'll lose investors automatically. That's what it means.
All right. We move to the front page of the Vanguard newspapers, where we have 4 dead scores injured. 2 banks razed as petrol tanker explodes at Agbo.
I remember I talked about this about 2-3 months ago.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
These tankers, we need to put up a policy to regulate their activities.
Okay.
It's unfortunate we couldn't go into the body of that report, but it's the same old story. It's the same old story. Either they fall off the road or they develop engine problems that result into fire outbreaks. You know, some of these things. And fatigue problems. The drivers, they drive throughout the night.
Yes.
And then the issue of fatigue comes in. And then coupled with that, they take all sorts of substances, those drivers. And they're, what do you call them now in the layman's language? There's a name they call them, those who support them.
Okay, yeah, the motorboys.
The motorboys,
yes.
They take all kinds of substances. And I'll tell you what they take. They take kai-kai. They take snuff. Tramadol and all sort of things. All in one head. All in one head. And they will tell you that it is when they drive at night that they see more clearly. I mean, how it just defies logic. All right. In the daytime, they won't see. That's what they tell you. In the daytime, they won't see clearly. It is in the night they will see clearly. And under the influence of all kinds of substances. But in any case, our hearts go out to the people who lost their lives in the process. May the good Lord rest their souls in peace. But some of these things are absolutely avoidable.
Yeah, they're avoidable.
They're absolutely avoidable.
You know, this actually took place at the Lagos Asaba Road at Agbo. And the tanker was trying to turn on that road, as small as it was.
Yes.
On impact, as it fell, on impact, and the explosion immediately.
Well, immediately. I mean, I've said it before. I mean, that thing is, even though it's liquid, it is bomb. It's liquid bomb. I've said it here before. Liquid bomb. Look, I gave an illustration the other day, maybe a couple of months ago. If you put petrol here, put up a rope up to about 200, 300 meters, then pour petrol on the rope along the line, you ignite it here. It goes there immediately because it's gas. It's liquid gas. It goes there immediately. That's how powerful it is. And you see, watch very carefully, at the back of every tanker, you have highly inflammable. Yeah. They always say that. That road, I'm sure, was too narrow. Again, where you are, maybe he didn't know that he shouldn't have turned at that point in time.
Yes.
Because the road was narrow. And in the process of trying to maneuver, the thing tipped over. And it fell off. And it was loaded, obviously.
Exactly.
And for a working engine, that's it's an invitation to calamity. Yes. But again, I'm sorry for the loss of lives, and I hope it doesn't repeat itself.
And so this takes us to the front page of Observer newspapers. NAFDAC alerts public to suspected counterfeit cancer drug.
Cancer drugs. But not just cancer. There are other ailments, diabetes, things like that, hypertension. People are suffering from all kinds of ailments, all right, in this country. And they cannot buy the drugs. That's the tragedy. Most of these drugs should not be expensive for the sufferers, okay? Government should try. I thought they were saying something like that the other day. The administration said, the federal government said they're going to, for excise duties and things, they're going to lower the tariffs and things so that these drugs can be more affordable. All right? Now, and some of these drugs, you easily cannot get them across the counter. They have to be by prescription. And they are expensive. So if you can't get them, you go for the substandard stuff. And what is even more alarming is the fact that you go to some of these stores, not the big pharmacies really. You go to some of these patent medicine stores, they will even ask you, they have the audacity to ask you, is it the original you want or the other one? They ask you, okay? That's the thing that affects human life. That is how bad this country has sunk into odium. They will ask you, they will have the effrontery to ask you, Oga, we have 2 types. So is it this one? Obviously, one will be more expensive.
Definitely.
Yes. And the sufferer will go for the less expensive one at the detriment of his own health. Yes. I mean, we have seen situations in the social media where needles were put into capsules.
Yeah.
And things like that. It's just that Nigerians are just terrible people. They are not humane. How could you? Drugs that people are going to take to ameliorate their suffering. You know, you produce, you give them fake drugs. And these drugs, by the way, are manufactured in the East or somewhere. And NDLEA has a duty to ransack all these places and bring them to justice.
Exactly.
I mean, Professor, let me also rest in peace, Professor Akinloye, she did a lot of job to make sure that these people were brought into justice. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why they had to take her out. But in any case, what I'm saying is the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria also has to do some work. I mean, there must be regulatory measures to ensure that those people who sell these fake drugs, their outlets are closed. And they are not just closed. You must bring them to justice. Exactly. You must prosecute them. And use one or two as examples. Because we are talking about human life here. All right? If somebody is suffering from diabetes, for instance, and you give the person a fake drug, you are not helping him or her. Rather, you are adding to the problem.
Exactly.
Why? Because the sugar level will not go down.
Yes.
It's either it remains where it is or it goes up, and that's dangerous. Yeah. The same thing with hypertension. All right? The same thing with cancer. So, people, in fact, I'll tell you this. Those people that deal on fake drugs should be executed. Yes, even though we're talking about execution being, that's outside laws now and things like that. But it is the gravity of the offense, because you see, you are killing the person. You are killing the person knowingly and unknowingly. In fact, knowingly, because you also know, I mean, the seller knows that those drugs are fake.
Yes.
So if you sell them to people, you ultimately want to kill them. And so you pay the price. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, offenses and people who commit offenses, they should be executed and things like that. I mean, execution is going by the way now. Okay? So, but that's to show, to express the gravity of the offense. Either that or you go for life imprisonment.
Exactly.
Okay? Because it is bad. And those people, only recently, about a week or two ago, a whole street somewhere in the East closed down because of fake drugs.
Yes.
Fake drugs. And then people will bring all kinds of, what do you call this, this iron stuff, containers.
Containers, yeah.
Some of them are loaded with fake drugs. And you see them throwing parties all over the place. Overnight they become billionaires at the expense of people's health. Yes.
I seriously look into the death sentence thing for such individuals. If we could have, this is on the lighter side now, a Nigerian judge who sentenced an individual to death for stealing a fowl, a chicken.
Well, I'm happy that the guy has been released.
Yes, exactly.
The guy has been released, but again, that's part of our judicial system, justice system. The argument, I was talking with a fellow lawyer the other day, and he said, okay, the guy must have, I didn't read the whole story really. Okay. Perhaps he held a gun. That translated to robbery. In the process of trying to steal the fowls. I mean, suppose he held a gun and he held the owner to ransom. Okay. Yes. That will not translate into just stealing a fowl. But that's what people will say. But what of, suppose he held a gun and he held the person at gunpoint. Even it was a toy gun. If it was a toy gun to scare the owner of the fowl. I'm just talking about this superficially. I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened. But again, you see, our justice system is such that the offense, the punishment must be commensurate with the offense. Exactly. All right? So I'll end it there.
All right, thank you so much. It's always a wonderful time with Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. Well, we'll be having a parting shot from Dr. Emmanuel Egariba.
What's a parting shot? 2025 is here. The long-awaited 2025 is here. And everybody prayed, I guess. Most people prayed that 2024 should just move away. Yeah. I was one of those people. One of those people who prayed fervently that 2024 should just move away. By the way, I just left the office of the parish priest of St. Joseph here, a young man whom I like very much. And he said, yes, he didn't even know how they were able to manage because there was no stampede when they were giving out things. It was around Christmas time last year. But he said as early, this surprised me really, as early as 3:30 a.m., people were already in the church premises. 3:30. So that they could pick numbers. 3:30 a.m. In other words, they didn't even sleep.
Yes.
And they gave out, from what he said, quite a large number of live chickens and things like that. No, beautiful job that they did. But there was no stampede because it was well managed.
Yes.
It was very well managed. So I say kudos to him, Father Uja, the parish priest of St. Joseph. Kudos to him and kudos to the management of those resources. Now, my passing shot would be that, yes, 2025 is here. We look up to so many things from our government. Let there be a sure relief. The economy must be made better. That is number one. Security must be such that we don't have banditry and things anymore. Our highways should be free from bandits. Our highways should be free. Petrol price should come down. These are the indices we are talking about for us to have a meaningful development in 2025, particularly fuel price. I understand it's about 900 plus now, and government is pounding its chest to say that there's been a reduction. I mean, that's not the kind of reduction that people want. I will also plead with governors particularly that they should go out and mix with the people. Let them go out. Not quite incognito. Let them go out. If they want to drive siren, let them drive siren. Let them go to the marketplaces. There's nothing wrong with that. Let them go once in a while to find out what is happening in our marketplaces. And let them also know that there's the need to encourage farmers. Farmers need to be back to work, particularly those that have been driven away by bandits. They need to be back to work. In other words, the security and military forces should be encouraged in such a way that those farmlands become a no-go area. Because we want to live a happy life. Yes, Nigerians want to live a happy life. But I'll tell you this, in spite of the rot in the system, people were still drunk during Christmas. Oh, heavily drunk. Heavily. There were accidents and all sorts of things. I was driving to the office on Boxing Day, and I saw, because the driver didn't come, I was driving, and I saw a gentleman who fell into a gutter, and they had to drag him up. What was the problem? Alcohol.
Yes.
He drank to stupor. And we are saying that the economy is bad. This is what people say. I say, oh, no, if the economy is good or bad, people shouldn't be drunk. But you see, some people want to do terribly excessive things. Yeah. And usually they are free drinks. Yes. Usually they are free drinks. You cannot use your money to buy drinks that will kill you. Okay? They are free drinks. So this year we must moderate our activities. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. And with this, we come to the end of the newspaper analysis for today, January 6th, 2025. Once again, I'll say thank you for watching. Please stay tuned.